Good afternoon. My name is Charmain Platon. I am the nurse weight loss coach, but I am also what I am officially calling the first ever sugar craving coach you'll ever hear about. So what I help people with is that I help people manage their weight, all with their nutrition and their mindset. And I just want to give a quick background really quick on who I am, because you're probably like, oh, I'm so thankful, by the way, that you're here, but you're just probably like, who is this chick, why does she think she knows about stress, who does she think she is, all that stuff. So again, I'm Charmaine. I am a board certified psychiatric nurse at UCLA, still work there in addition to coaching, so I help patients anywhere from 18 years old to 109 years old. And they could have bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, depression, you name it. If you have a psych issue, by the way, you could come talk to me later. I can help you with that as well. So anyway, and also dementia, autism, and Parkinson's. So if you have dementia, look for me too. I can help with that. Anyway, so raise your hand if you like eating sweets. Okay, oh cool. Oh, you're sneaking in back there. Okay, and raise your hand if you're struggling with eating these sweets. If you have a lot of cravings with it. And you can't stop, you're like, oh my God, I can't stop eating. I just can't. Okay, cool. So I help people end their cravings with sugar because this was something that I faced for so long as a nurse. I didn't even realize I had it. But basically, when I was stressed out at work, I would just be eating and noshing. I think that's the term now. They say noshing on all the sweets in the break room. So I'd be eating without even realizing it. And I didn't realize I was depending on food for my emotional well-being. So I was like, how the heck do I help my emotions? It's like, oh, I have to manage my emotions. I shouldn't just be eating mindlessly. So that's what I'm going to help you all with today. And it was really to the point, I was so stressed at work. Who's stressed at work here?
Ow! Right.
Oh, yikes. That sounds pretty stressful. Come see me after. We'll do a personal thing. So anyway, since I was so stressed at work, I was managing it with food. And so I will help you with that. And also, it got to this point where in nursing, it's really stressful. You work long hours. You have a lot of physical labor. And it was to this point, I wanted to quit my job. I thought that I would feel better if I just quit, nursing is stressful, just quit my job. So I tried to be a personal trainer. And then when I was a personal trainer, it was like, oh gosh, this isn't as fun as I thought it would be. So it's not the work, which we're gonna go into in a little bit. So when we're here in this hour, you guys, I really want you to engage, I really want you to participate, because think about it as the most powerful hour that you'll have in your whole day today. Because the more engaged you are, the more you'll learn, and the more you can apply it to your life before you leave, or when you leave, actually. All right, so think about it as power hour. This is not a workshop, it's power hour. All right, so now I'm going to turn it to you guys. So I want you to just shout. I don't care, by the way, if you have to stand up or whatever. I'm not about sit and listen to me. I'm like, nope, I'm not about that. Just I want to engage. I want you to be human and walk around if you have to. So anyway, now I want to ask you guys, what makes all of you guys stressed out? And go ahead and shout it out. I know I've already heard from a couple people here. They said their husbands.
The moms.
So I'm going to write husband. That was a popular one already. Just from downstairs. Of course not. It's not always the husband.
Wives.
So, wives? Okay, let's just do that, guys. Shout it out.
Fears. Moms.
Fears? Fears. Did someone say kids?
Yeah, kids.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm stressed by kids too. I don't have any. Okay. Work? Work. Yes, that was a big one for me, as you heard. Any more? I want to fill this board. Huh? Traffic. Oh yeah, I was going to say traffic. That's a really good one.
Family illness.
Family illness. Ooh, that's a good one. Working in psych. That's a big one. Dementia.
Overcrowded communities.
Ooh, overcrowded communities. Welcome to LA. Overcrowded communities.
Rude people.
Rude people. Did someone say money? Money. Overcrowded spaces, money, rude people. Time.
Planning ahead.
Planning ahead. I guess it's related to time. So, what was the other one? I feel like I missed one. Okay. Any last ones that I forgot? Really good ones. No.
Wait.
Oh, that's my specialty. Oh my goodness. You come to the right place. Congratulations. All right. So, sorry for the guys who are looking at my butt here, but hopefully it's not that out of view. But this is a long list, right? So keep this in mind. We're gonna get back to this in just a little bit, okay? So, all right. So now I have trivia. If you guys answer, I will give you a prize because all y'all have a pen. But do you have this pen? Okay, if you want to be best friends with a nurse, hopefully none of you are hospitalized anytime soon, but if you want to be friends with a nurse, do not steal their pen, or they will kill you. So I have nurse pens. Okay, so anyway, so question, you guys, if you look at your worksheet, what is your brain's #1 job? And I made the worksheet super cute, I just gotta say. It was all by me. Copyright, very cool. Thank you. It's all by me.
It's to help you.
To help you, okay.
The autonomic system.
Autonomic system.
Think.
You'll only get the pen if you get the answer I'm looking for, though.
Survive.
Yeah, who said survive? You win a pen, and you win a pen. Okay, good. So if you guys write that down, your brain's only job, I know, hopefully none of you are neurologists, because my gosh, if you are, I'm sorry, I know I'm simplifying things. I didn't do well in neurology in nursing school, okay? Let's be real, but let's write that down. Your brain's only job is to help you survive. Okay, let's just keep that in mind for now. Okay, so there's this awesome dude named Dr. Douglas Lyle. He wrote the book called The Pleasure Trap. I highly recommend it. He also has YouTube videos. But anyway, there are only 3 things that we need as an animal species to survive. All right, and those 3 things are
Water.
That is very important. No, water. You guys got to drink water. Don't get me wrong, but anything else to survive? 3 things to prolong an animal species. What do you think that is?
Procreate.
Yes. Procreate, yes, which has to do with
sex.
Right. Right. And sex, what does sex create for you guys?
No.
Kind of. Sort of. If you think about animals, what makes animals survive for a long time?
Instincts.
Kind of.
Relations.
Food.
Grouping.
I'm just gonna give you one. Let me give you one. So, along the procreation thing, who said procreate? Have sex. Oh dang! You guys don't know. Okay. Okay. So basically, when you have sex, it feels good most of the time, right? So anyway, animal species who survive, they gotta have
Endorphins.
Right, like the pleasure part of it, right? You gotta seek pleasure. That's the #1 thing. I'm gonna give you one because you've been so engaged. So. Yes. No, keep talking. But anyway, so if you want an animal species to survive, you gotta seek pleasure, okay? And then the second thing for an animal species to survive is you have to avoid pain. And the third is you gotta conserve energy. And I should have put that in the worksheet, but I totally forgot. But anyway, these are the 3, this is the formula to make an animal species survive. But because of that, when you think back in the day when we were cavemen, if we wanted to avoid pain, we had to run away from things that were stressful back in the day, like predators. What were some of the old day predators? Like the cave, if you're living in a cave, what would be a predator?
Saber-toothed tiger.
Thank you, I was hoping someone would say that. Saber-toothed tiger, yay! Okay, anything else? What was the old day predators or enemies or whatever? When you're
Other tribes.
Other tribes? Oh, okay. You're right. Other tribes. Yeah.
Infections.
Infections. Okay. All right. It's the best pen around, by the way. It looks really cool. Oh my gosh, can I give it to a resident one time? Totally forgot to get it back. That was devastating.
I
That
bet.
was really devastating. Okay, so anyway, so any other predators back in the day when you were a caveman?
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur, yes!
We weren't around when the dinosaurs were around.
But they're scary though, we've heard it.
Yeah.
They existed.
We weren't at the same time.
Okay, so let's remember that, okay, when you're a caveman, those were our predators. But nowadays, what are our modern day predators? We don't have the saber-toothed tigers no more, we don't got the dinosaurs. We still have infections though, that kind of sucks. And hopefully the tractors still attacking each other.
Sugar will kill you.
Yes! You're right, sugar can kill you. What else is our modern day predator? Black money. Anything else?
Heavy traffic.
Heavy traffic, yeah. So basically, so what we listed, everything here we listed, these are our modern day predators. Alright, you're up against your husband, your wife, Jesus, your kids. If there's any kids here, I'm just like, oh, they're not listening, it's cool. He doesn't even know what's going on. So anyway, these are your modern day predators, okay? Rude people, gee whiz. So anyway, when we have these modern day predators, like what do we do? Like how do we manage our brains around that, right? Huh? Eating. Eating!
I took hers.
I'm a mom. We don't steal here.
I'm a mom.
I'm a predator. She's a predator. Oh my gosh. We need help. Okay, so how do we actually manage our minds, right? Like what do we do now? And because these things don't kill us physically, hopefully these things don't kill us, if something's happening here, please see me. I have a hospital in UCLA that I work at. They're really nice there. So anyway, they don't kill us, but it feels like we're being killed, right? Like it feels very stressful to manage these things, right? And so what creates that feeling?
Internal pressure to do things.
And what creates the internal pressure?
It's our perception.
Yes! Oh my gosh, she said that! That is amazing! Oh my gosh, thank you. Alright, I'm running out of pens, so thank you. Anyway, so it's that perception, right? So here's the thing. Like when we have our perception, like humans as a species, we're the only species compared to other animals that tell stories. And our perception of our lives, like the way we manage our lives, is all told in a story. It's all told in a narrative. And there's actually this book by Dr. Niles. Actually, I don't know if he's a doctor or not. But his name is Jason Niles. He wrote a book called Homo Narrans. And it's basically about how our perception of the world, how we create culture, how we create change, anything we do in our lives is all dependent on the stories that we tell, the narratives that we tell, right? And we know this because we're constantly storytellers, and the way that we have culture is from the stories that we tell. And that's what separates us truly from other animal species. So when we think about that, I want you to think about the stories that you tell yourselves every single day. And I'm going to do an exercise to test this out. So take a look at your worksheet, and I want you to look at the one with the eyeball, the big eyeball. So I want you, let's visualize this for a second. The more you're engaged and you actually practice this, the stronger the exercise will be for you guys. So I want you to imagine you're in Starbucks downstairs. Okay, that Starbucks line downstairs. And then you see this dude, or a dudette, however, whatever you're into. And like, so this person, when you're in line, you just see this person laser focused right on you. Right on you. Okay? Their eyes are locked on you, and you know, no matter what you do, even if you look at your phone for a bit, you look at straight at you, okay? So I want you to think about that for a second and really imagine it, and I want you to think about what you're feeling in that moment.
Creeped out.
Okay? Anything else? Oh.
What was your
sense of curiosity?
She said creeped out.
I wonder if they recognize me from somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, like curious, like
Like
maybe
they
curious.
may know me from somewhere that they may, yeah.
Right,
Curiosity.
curious.
Curiosity.
Oh, you know, there's a penalty if you're late. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry for curiosity.
No, you didn't. Yay!
They really like my shoes.
They really like my shoes. Did I give you a pen already?
I got one.
Oh,
I'm
I
good
love
at
your
pennies.
honesty. That's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's integrity right there. So yeah. So when we have those feelings, when we think about that person, you know, when we think about that person looking at it, you feel that feeling, right? Some people are turned on, and some people are like creeped out, you know? And that comes from a thought you're having. That comes from the story that you're telling yourself about that dude or dudette, okay? And so here's what I want you to think about. So in this talk I listened to, a clinical psychologist said that when a traumatic event occurs, 25% of the people who experience the event will not be resilient. They're going to be traumatized. And then 75% of the people will be resilient. They're going to be able to move on with their lives and move forward with their lives. So what do you think is the difference between that 25% and the 75%?
It's the story you tell yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that would be pretty cool to have instead.
Thank you.
I know, but
We can have a lot.
right, like, you're kind of like, what's up? Some people might do that. I know some people who might do that. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's the story that you tell yourself that makes you either more resilient or not. So people who have PTSD, they're constantly telling themselves a story that is more kind of like, say, in a victim mentality, or kind of like a certain mentality that makes them believe that the world is against them in some kind of way, versus someone who tells a story about themselves that is, you know, and they're able to move on. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, you know, maybe he likes my shoes. You know, it's a different story. So, lucky you guys are here today, because now you can get a clue about the story that you're telling yourselves every single day. And that is through what I call the model. All right, so if you look at your worksheet in the bottom, the model is a tool that I use every single day. I kid you not. I use this on myself every single day. I wake up in the morning and I journal, and I invite you guys to practice that for yourself too. So basically, the model is a tool, a 5-step tool that you could use every single day for yourself, or anytime something stressful comes up for you. It can give you a clear picture on where the stress is coming from, what your story is, and how that's actually affecting your behavior. Because if you look at the worksheet, what we learned, right, like our situations don't actually cause the stress, right? It's our story about it, okay? So when we look at that, when we see what situation are we in that is triggering a thought, all right? And then that thought will create a feeling. So C for circumstance, and then any circumstance you're in will trigger a thought. Any thought or story that you have will create a feeling, just like when we were creeped out by Channing Tatum looking at us. So I'm like, oh, actually, when I feel creeped out from that. And then, so any feeling you have, see, isn't that
That
funny
one
too?
would be different.
You see that because you thought about a change. Like, how does the guy you were thinking of look like?
Not like Channing Tatum.
Right, but you see, when he looks different than Channing Tatum, your thought about him changed. So your story about him, like, you're creeped out changed when you thought of Channing Tatum. You're like, oh heck yeah, he can look at. Hang on a second, you know. So yeah, you see how that shifted for her, because it's really all dependent on your story. All right, so any feeling you have is going to drive your actions, because you know, when you think about it, when you want to do something, when you want to act a certain way, when you want to get a certain goal, like lose weight, most of the time you'd have to feel inspired, right? Like you don't normally like work out if you feel like this, right? You know, like you're gonna pass out. So your feelings will drive your actions, and then your actions are what create your results in your life. All right, so this is the model. It's this 5-step framework of everything you're doing in a specific situation. Don't put your whole life story in the circumstance, okay? It's just one specific situation. All right, so if anybody is so brave and would like to, if anyone has a normal everyday stressor maybe that they want to talk about that's creating stress for them, I could show you a demonstration of how to do the model right here, right now, in front of everybody. But just know, whatever you say, everybody here will know about. So just be mindful. Yes. So what is a specific situation for you that's causing stress? Oh, her.
Did she
Yeah.
volunteer?
Okay. Certain aspects of my law partner's personality.
Okay, so you're the personality of your law partner?
Yes.
Okay. Personality, law partner. When you say law partner, do you run a firm together?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Law partner.
But
Okay.
he has the same personality with everybody.
Oh, now
So don't
this is
take
getting,
it personal.
This is getting real personal. I'm like, hold on, let's go step by
I just
step.
say people are people no matter what, but yeah.
Okay.
So,
Hey, okay, let's think about it first. So
Okay.
when you think about your law partner, how do you feel when you're
when I'm thinking about this specific personality issue, well, it's changed over the years.
yeah.
You know, the beginning, it was very difficult and this and that. Now I've come to the point after 11 years where it just goes in one ear and out the other.
Right.
But it's a characteristic of never being wrong about anything, even when it's obvious for
Okay.
psychological reasons.
Okay, so but how does that make you feel?
Like I'm being baited into a banter that I don't want to waste my time in.
Okay, so
Because it's over nothing.
if you could say that in a one-word emotion,
How it
frustrated.
no, more like
Hate.
no.
Hate.
The feeling of not wanting to be pulled into something that's a stupid banter.
That sounds really complicated in yours.
No.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know if it's one word.
Resentment?
No.
Bracing or giving in?
The feeling. One word feeling.
Yeah, like what does it feel
Annoyed.
like when you... Okay, that's a good one. Annoyed.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Annoyed.
I love that. Okay, annoyed.
Because it's just a waste of time.
Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. So let me erase this. So, okay, you have this law partner's personality.
Always right.
Like, hold on a second. Stay with me. So you have this personality.
Okay.
When we think about the circumstance, this is the tough part for most
Okay.
people. Okay, the circumstance is neutral. Okay, it's when we think about the situation, it is only the facts.
Okay.
Okay, so when we do the tool, you got to the model. We got to separate out the
Okay.
facts from the thoughts.
Okay.
Okay, because this is the most challenging part for most
Okay,
people. Because
the
when you
facts.
talk about the person, you're like, well, he's a chameleon or whatever.
Okay, okay, facts.
Okay, so the facts are,
Never wrong. That's a fact. Never wrong.
well, what's the facts?
Never wrong.
Keep arguing.
Combative.
Okay, let me teach you just really quick. So this is the tough part for most people in my
Okay.
coaching experience, because this is
Okay.
why I coach people on how to look at their mind, how to look at what's causing them pain. So when you look at circumstances, the facts are like what two people will agree on that is like correct, like is true. Like I'm wearing a red dress, unless you're colorblind, that doesn't count. But you know, I'm a woman. For most people, I think they would consider that a fact.
Okay.
And then also, what's just the reality of the situation? So the reality is
He's her law
Stubborn?
yeah, he's your love partner. He says,
There every
yes,
day at work.
exactly. He's
That's
there
the
at
fact.
work. Oh, gosh, you've been contributing so much. I forgot about my pen thing. Thank you. But yeah, he says things. He says things at work. I know you're like, what are you talking about? But let's look at the facts. So your law partner says things at work sometimes.
What's the fact he's combative? He admits it. I mean, he enjoys it. It's sport.
Okay,
It's not, it's just, he likes it.
but see, this is the part that's really tough. But if you just consider,
Okay, fact.
yeah.
Okay.
He's a man.
Yes,
he's
he
a
is a
dude.
man.
Okay, he's a dude. Okay, and he says things sometimes.
Yes.
Right? He says things. Okay, he says things.
Does
And
he
then-
seem like he always knows best to other people?
It's a
Does he
person,
come
he was
across-
born this way. It's just.
A lot of thoughts are coming up right now. Okay, the facts are
Yes.
your law partner is a dude that says things.
Okay.
And so, but your thoughts about it, your story about it is
He's always right.
he's always right.
Combative.
He's combative.
He wants to be right.
He's combative.
Get up and make
He
sure
enjoys
he
it.
enjoys
He enjoys.
Oh, yeah, it's sport for him. It's fun.
Okay, he enjoys it.
Oh, yeah.
He enjoys what?
Being combative.
Oh, he enjoys being combative. Okay.
And always right.
Okay. So I want you to,
Yeah.
I want you to see. The facts are he says things, and your story about it is that he's combative. He enjoys being combative. Just consider this for a second, okay?
Okay.
And then when you think that about him, that makes you feel
Annoyed.
right? And when you feel annoyed, how does that affect your behavior at work around him?
I take deep breaths,
Okay.
and if it's too much, I walk away.
Okay. Take deep breaths. Walk away. Anything else? Like
No.
how does that affect like your work?
Well, now it's not as big a deal, but let's say years in the past, it would get me annoyed for the whole day and have me very flustered.
Right. And let's think
Because
about.
I
yeah.
used to think I could change him.
Right.
Now I know
We all think
I
that we can change people. You're not alone. Trust me.
can't. If I just explained it to him enough.
I'm like,
I've got a question. Does he, to many people, appear as if he really is right?
He wants to be right.
At least initially.
Well, no, he is right about a lot of things. He's very
Well,
smart,
that's
he's
what I
right
mean.
about a lot of
Okay.
things, but even very simplistic things, he'll make it, it's just he can't, it goes even deeper than that. No, he's very intelligent and he's right about a lot of things, but he will never admit being wrong about anything, even grabbing the wrong soda.
okay.
So
Okay.
it's just a psychological thing, but no, he's very smart and he's right about a lot of things.
Okay, but let's think about
That's how
that
he
though.
sucks
'Cause-
people in.
let's consider
Yeah.
the model. Let's stay focused because when that back in the day when you're flustered, you
Yeah.
spend all day thinking about it, right?
I used to, yeah.
Yeah.
Real waste of time.
Yeah, you wasted time.
Yeah.
Spent all day wasting time, and then what was the result of that for you? When that would happen?
Frustrated because he was in thinking that this is all fun and I should be enjoying it too, and he couldn't figure out why I'm annoyed, so it was just me by myself.
Right. So
So it was a
you're
real
frustrated.
waste of time.
Yeah, and then so do you think
And
you
being
might,
an attorney, I didn't have a lot of time to waste.
right? And do you think that might have affected your productivity at work?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay. So your productivity might have gone down?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I had to go get several cups of coffee and take a walk around the building.
Okay, cool. All right, so did you guys kind of understand how I walked through that? So the facts are, the situation was she has a law partner who says things, and we got to keep it very, I know you don't believe me, I know, but we got to keep it neutral.
Okay.
Okay? And your story about this guy is that he's combative, he enjoys it, he wants to be right, and so when you think about him in that way, you feel annoyed, and then that affects you at work. Now you're thinking about what to say to him, you're trying to avoid him, you're wasting time at work, and then now your productivity at work is down. Okay? So let's think about this real quick. Same dude, okay? How would you want to feel about him instead?
Good.
Okay?
What should I do now?
Okay.
Because now I look at it as just, oh, that's so cute. Like you would a 3-year-old.
Right. Well,
That's so cute that you're dribbling your Cheerios. That's adorable. That means how I perceive it. If I perceive it as a kid dribbling the Cheerios as annoying me and making a mess for me, or, oh, it's cute. You know, the behavior's never going to change.
Right,
It's
right.
how I interpret. So now I'm more like, oh, it's cute.
Right, so now you're like, oh,
That's cute.
that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Right, and then you feel good, and then how do you behave when you're feeling good? Like what
I
behavior?
smile.
What?
Smile and nod.
It's one, oh. Okay, how, you smile?
Smile, yeah, I love you.
You smile. Okay, anything else? How about your work productivity?
It's better because if I don't want to listen anymore, I just turn and smile and that's adorable and I pat him on the head and then I walk out and start working.
Okay, so,
So I'm not wasting time with the going around the
Right,
block
right.
and the breathing.
Exactly. And then what's the outcome for you because you're more
Oh,
productive?
I don't want to kill him anymore. I'm not as
Thank-
stressed
Woo,
out.
Thank goodness, I would
Yeah,
not want
you
to see you
would
at
not.
my hospital, so that would be good.
Well, I'm here at UCLA.
Oh, I just
I'm
want to see
also,
the patient.
I'm also an alumni and work with the medical staff there too, but we'll talk later.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
neuroscience department.
Yeah, so now you're able to kind of have a more like stress-free environment at work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's come maybe around the last 6-7 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So I know it was hard for you guys because I know you have this view, but basically what I walked through here, I'm just going to show you guys real quick because I feel bad. So this is what it looks like. So this is the model, the 5 steps. It's in the worksheet. So basically we went through the personality, her thoughts about it. It helped her feel good. She was able to smile. Oh, now you guys can have a view here. And now she has a more stress-free environment. I hate, I do groups in my hospital too, so I'm very like, oh, I want to include everybody kind of thing. Okay, but yeah, so let's give her a hand for sharing that though. That was very like vulnerable, I appreciate it. But it's really all about that story you're telling yourself about any situation. And I had very similar situations at work where I wanted to kill everybody around me. And unfortunately you can't do that in a hospital. But you could,
That's a lot, too.
yeah, right. Oh, we know about some nurses that I'm not that kind of nurse. So, but anyway, but yeah. So the thing that I try to help people see is where your empowerment comes, like your true power comes from those stories you tell yourself. Because if you depend on your circumstances to be absolutely perfect for you to feel good, how likely is that going to happen?
Never.
Thank you. Who hasn't gotten a pen who said never?
Somebody over here.
No?
I said never, but I have a pen.
Oh, okay. Next time. And I still got a lot of pens, you guys. So, okay, but anyway, but yeah, like if we depend on our circumstances to help us feel better, it's never guaranteed we're going to feel good, right? Who
Never.
thinks about their partner in this way? Because it's like if you are depending on the situation to be absolutely perfect, you'll never know when you feel good, right? It's like, how the hell do I know when I'm going to feel good? It's like work, you come in and you're just like, I don't know if it's going to be a good day. You're just like, And then if everything went wrong at work for you, you'll just feel like crap all the time, So empowerment comes from telling yourself a different story that is deliberate and it's intentional, so you're the one in control all the time. Because that's the one thing we have control over as humans. Like, we get to decide what we want to think. We get to decide how we want to feel, how we want to think and the story that we tell ourselves. So that's what we have control over. And that's what I'm going to invite all of you to do today. Right now. Okay, remember this is Power Hour. Okay, so everybody look at your worksheet, turn it around, and then I want you to really do this, okay? If you want to actually change your life, you got to create it. And it starts with being intentional about how you're thinking and how you tell your stories to yourself. If you got to talk out loud, that's fine. I talk to myself all the time. I'm like, Charmaine, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, oh, okay, you're just thinking to yourself, oh, okay. I talk to myself all the time. So anyway, so I want you to look at the sheet, and I want you to think about right now a situation or circumstance that you think is creating stress for you in your life right now. And I want you to go through the unintentional model for yourself on the left side. So basically, that means just how you're currently thinking about your situation. And so it means unintentional because it's kind of like an automatic thought that comes up in your brain. So go ahead and fill that out right now. Take a few minutes, and then we're going to talk about it. And again, if you kind of forget what the letters mean, it's also on the front side of the sheet. So go ahead and fill that out first a little bit while I drink some water. Oh, it's on the other side? Right there, So, yeah, because I know you guys can see the board. So make it. Oh. Yes.
Come on. Like you want to change that situation.
Yeah, like.
And then your feeling is frustration.
Yeah, like he's such an asshole.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
What an asshole. Oh, sorry, is the kid still wearing the, okay, good. Thank you, parents. I was gonna get in trouble. My goodness gracious. And remember the
He's not taking
circumstance,
it personally.
he's not. No, he's cool.
He's got the worksheet too, right?
Yeah, of course.
You said like whatever, when we don't feel good, like we can create everything for us to feel good.
Yeah.
But sometimes I question that about our culture, American culture. We always want to feel
Yes.
good. And there are
Mhm.
things that, like getting a vaccine, that's not so good, but I know that it's gonna be painful, but my reward is gonna be better than whatever, or like working out. I don't think anyone enjoys having pain in the body, but you are working your body to be better. So that's my dilemma. How much is okay to tolerate, and what is the fine line of, okay, yeah, certain discomfort is okay, and then this is the point where that's not okay. So that's for me the green line.
So the cool thing is that you get to decide. You always get to decide that for yourself. There's no, if you think about it, if we think about pain, what's the threshold? Like, it's all up to us, right? When we ask our patients, what's your pain scale? You could say whatever number the heck you want. 1 to 10, what's your pain at? You could say whatever you want, so it's really up to you. But you're already kind of doing it, because when you were saying about the shot, you're already saying, you're telling yourself a different story. You're like, I know it's painful, but I need this. So that's already changing the perspective of it. Because you could choose to think, gosh, this shot is torturing me. Oh, they're killing me, But you're choosing to think about it like, oh, I know it's painful, but I need this to prevent infection or something like that. So you didn't know that, but you're already changing you're changing the way you're looking at it already.
Okay.
Somebody, well, when you're done, just, sorry, excuse me, I gotta keep my composure.
When you talk about number 4, actions, does that mean your actions, like heart racing or things like that, or do you mean their actions?
Your actions. This
Like,
is all
like
how
that.
you are
Okay.
showing, because we can never read minds. We can never,
So when it's unintentional, it's how you're reacting without thinking. Intentional is how you want to behave.
Exactly. But right now we're just doing the unintentional part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's only you, because you get to decide how you're thinking, feeling only. Unless you're like if you have special powers, like I would love to talk to you. It would help me with my patients. I could just control them to take their meds. Just kidding.
Why is it traffic?
Traffic.
Traffic.
She's from the East Coast.
Oh yeah,
She's
dude.
not used to it.
Oh, you're not used to traffic?
The LA traffic, it's like worse than New York City traffic.
Yes,
It's
it
just-
is.
New York and all Boston's worse.
I'm sitting, I'm like,
I'm like,
it's 2 o'clock
I just
on
came
Wednesday,
from
where the
Boston.
hell is everyone going?
Ah.
I know.
Just like,
All over the place.
Don't do that right
I'm
now.
better now because now I listen to a podcast and it doesn't bother me as much, so.
Yeah, your story
I just-
changed about it. You're like,
Yeah.
see, you did it too.
It's still annoying, but
But yeah, it's still annoying, but you're able to make it more fun for you
Right.
and more enjoyable for you. All right, timekeeper, how much time we got left? 20 minutes, okay. Alright. We'll jot it down. I want you to, oh, I see your sheet is blank. I know she gave me, sorry. I know her though, guys, so that's why I'm picking on her. I'm not just mean to complete strangers.
Oh, never met you before.
Oh my gosh, she's such a liar. No, but she's really sweet. She's really sweet. She's really sweet.
What should I write down?
Oh my gosh, this is why you come on time. Okay, so here, look on here. So think about specific situations making you feel stressed, and then go down like what's your thoughts about it? How's it making you feel? How do you behave? And your results. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Do it. Do it.
I wrote a whole number.
Okay, is everybody just about done besides Lindsay? Okay, so now that you have that written down, I want you now to think about, what's your name?
Peggy.
Peggy. I want you to think about what we went through with Peggy. Like in the intentional model, an easy way to do it first is to think about how you intentionally want to feel about the same exact situation. So the C would be the same situation because, you know, we want to change our thoughts about it, our story about it. But ask yourself how you want to feel about it instead. Because if you wrote like stressed or anxious or something, you can create a different feeling about it. So go ahead and fill out the F line first, and then fill out the rest of the model. And if you struggle with any part of it, we're going to talk about that.
How can
just
we
a
put
little
in 4 or 5, which is action and results, when it hasn't happened yet?
Oh, then you just think about how you think you
Want
would.
to feel, or
Yeah.
you want to have a result. Okay.
Right, like
Okay.
how you would want to show
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Oh, I don't even see the scores like. You guys have any questions? I feel bad, but
So here's a question. What if you're one of the 75%, your husband's one of the 25%?
oh, we could.
So because, I mean, right, because so this is the thing, like you can only be responsible for yourself, and yet your mate for life is so intimately entwined with your life.
Right.
So I think that's why so many people said, you know, partners are a major stressor in their life.
Yeah.
Because you want to change your mate,
Right.
and you can't move.
That's right. That's the part that you have to work on yourself with because
Yeah,
that's the
because all
only
I
thing
can
you
control is
control.
my reaction.
Right. Because
to
if you're trying to
his
control
thoughts.
your guy all the time.
Yeah, right, it creates enormous stress and conflict.
Right. What if you could just enjoy him the way he is? This is when.
What?
You're all looking at him.
Not to like, that's a good bash.
Yeah, so this is the thing, like, this is, first of all most of my clients are women, that's like the #1 thing. So it's tough, but
I mean, I
yeah.
know it goes the other way, you know, all that, but, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's tough though, because I'm water up a duck's back kind of person,
Uh-huh.
but every little thing is a trauma in his life.
Yeah, it is.
Everything can't be a trauma. When everything's like an emergency, then nothing, you know?
And what's the circumstance though?
Yeah.
What's the facts?
Well, just like one recent example is, so a plane crash, a small plane crash nearby to where he worked.
Uh-huh.
So that is now turned into, for him, PTSD
Mm-hmm.
that he brings home. And so, every time like a plane flies overhead,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, you know, it's like, I'm gonna die.
Right.
And so, and
yeah.
my reaction to that is, you didn't die, the plane was nowhere near you,
Right.
move on. Which, you know.
And how
So I mean, it's not fair for me to make like his
Right.
thing,
Right.
my thing,
You
but
gotta
you get where I'm going, just
Yeah.
like with her law partner, you know?
Right.
So all I can control is my reaction to that. The
Yes.
problem is my reaction has to be a certain way in order for him to move on, which has to be, you know, I have to give him sympathy and feel bad for him and coddle him.
Well, that's
But he's alive.
Yeah,
And the
but-
plane didn't crash him.
Right, and you know, think about though what's true in the
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Because you say like, I have to coddle him, I have to, like, think about, like, how true is that?
That's a good point. So, yeah, that's a good way to think about it. Because I feel like I have to.
Exactly, and this is why we do the model, because we, like I said, we are in the driver's seat.
Right.
Our empowerment comes from doing things like this, because we can see that we decide anything we wanna think, anything we wanna feel, and anything we wanna do.
Right.
So, if you think you have to do that, like, I mean, how does that feel?
Yeah, right. You're already not, your heart's not in it.
Right.
Then you have to compare it to the other person, so
Right.
it's a false.
Right, and it's kind of,
And false feelings don't work with your
relationships.
Right.
And it's now it's not very honest, right?
Yeah, it's not honest at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why we're doing this. By the way, guys, when you fill this out, attention, this is important. So when you fill this out, you're going to see that maybe, you're not showing up in the way that you want. Your gut reaction might be like, oh my gosh, I'm such a lazy asshole. You're like, oh my god, how could I have acted this way? Your gut reaction will be to beat yourself up about this part. But if we could look at it, like, just learn about yourself with compassion and curiosity, whoever said curiosity earlier, like, that is one of the most powerful emotions that you could take with you. So just look at yourself with curiosity and know that whatever you wrote on the left side is only temporary. It's not permanent, because your story can always change. So just know that this is always temporary and it could be worked on. So, all right, are we all done? Did we?
Right? We'll stay if you want us to.
All right, so just looking at the model, just to wrap up a bit, did anybody want to share anything they might have learned about themselves, like something that, like any aha moments that they had from filling out the tool?
Go ahead.
Well, this is all like wrapped up into one sentence. Basically, if I stop doing what I've been doing, I could like make more money and like close more deals. So
Right.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone?
For me, I was writing both, and the circumstances, the thoughts and the feelings, I was writing them, they're the same.
They're the same?
No, they
Oh.
were not, because
Oh,
then
okay.
I was just thinking that the actions of the results were the things that needed to change.
Oh, yeah. Most
For some reason,
people.
I was like, no wonder.
Right.
I keep thinking, or I keep reading the circumstances that are the same, when I
Yeah.
have the power to read them or interpret them differently.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, okay, no wonder.
Yeah.
But
Well-
initially I started writing exactly the same.
Awesome. And you brought up a good point, because most people think, like, to lose weight, you gotta work out more. To lose weight, you gotta eat differently. Like, it's not the actions that help you to lose weight. You have to think about your weight loss in a different way that will motivate you to actually take the actions to lose the weight permanently. Because if your mindset's not there, it doesn't matter how much you run one day, because you're not gonna run the next day. And you might run 2 days after, and then you're not gonna run for a week. So it's never the actions. You gotta be in control of the mindset, the story that you're telling. All right, if anyone's brave, does anyone else wanna share any aha moments or anything that they learned? Hi!
Well, this happened in the past.
Uh-huh.
I was working as a nurse in the Nurse Family Partnership Program, which deals with first-time pregnant teens.
Oh.
So I had a very difficult time, and we had that session where, I had to report her for child abuse, but
Right.
this is when she was asking me, did you report me, things like that.
Right.
Because she's a bipolar patient.
Right.
So anyway, so during that session, she really told me a lot of things that happened in her life. And for me, I'm thinking, is it real? I mean, it's just like in the movies, what she's telling me. Also, a lot of traumatic things that happened in her life.
Yeah.
And during that time, she was only 19 years old.
Oh.
So, I felt so frustrated, and I have all these disbeliefs going on in my mind. I said, no, they cannot be real, because I know she's crazy. So, I thought she was just making it up.
Well, she thought that she's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, because of that perception that I had, I was really disturbed. I
Yeah.
lost focus on, that session. I said, it doesn't matter, who reported. At least I told her the right thing because I didn't know what to do right then and there.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, what do they want? The social worker. That's where I focused myself because not on what she was saying or how she was feeling, but after that, I kept focus on everything.
Right.
So
Right.
I called. I'm just part of the team for her. So I had to call the psychiatric counselor, her psychiatric counselor, and I said, I need a briefing because that's all I'm thinking of the whole day. So, I talked to him and he said, and then I told him everything. And then he said, Miriam, it doesn't matter whether they're true or not. Because in her mind, it's true.
Oh, I love that.
So I said, oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yeah, so from that time on, then, I always, become more emphatic to my clients and just be factual and deal with whatever is there to deal with.
Right.
So it won't bother me a lot
Right.
because, then I become more therapeutic that way.
Exactly. And you show up as a better, more helpful nurse to them. Right? Oh, that's amazing. Thanks That's super powerful, especially if you're working with other people and if you're in service to others. If you have an assumption or a judgment about other people, how effective do you think you will be at serving that person? If you assume what they're thinking, if you make a judgment without even, knowing them or anything like that, right? Because what I always tell people is like, if you want to be powerful, stop judging and start being more curious. Because curiosity is what will bring you far. It's what will help you get out of the judgment zone, and that's what will help you show up to be the person that you want to be and not make assumptions about people that, it's not really fair, right? You don't really know what the person's going through. And like you said with your husband too, like think about what's going on in his model. Think about what he might have thought about that whole incident, the trauma he's going through. So sometimes it helps me too. Like if I see someone who I think is totally being so difficult, coming late to my workshop, I'm not thinking about anybody, but when you think, it's like I could choose to think, God, what an asshole, and then I might be distracted and I might not be able to deliver a good talk to you guys. But instead I was just like, oh, I'm so glad she's here. I was like, yeah, woohoo. And then, I was still able to deliver hopefully a good talk. So anyway, does anyone else have any questions? Timekeeper, what time is it?
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned a couple of books earlier.
Yeah.
Could you mention those again?
Oh, sure. One of them, the one about the storytelling is Homo Narrans by Jason Niles. So that's the one that, it's more like about like evolution, how human species are different from animals, and we tell stories. And then the other one was The Pleasure Trap by Dr. Douglas Lisle, Lisle.
Say it again.
The Lisle. So he is the one who talks about like, in order for human species to live, we have to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and conserve energy. And that's the reason why we all crave sweets and we don't want to lose weight and we want to stay home and watch Netflix all day. That's why. And then what else? And then the other one I talked about was a talk, this clinical psychologist. I forgot his name, but yeah, he was talking about resilience and the 25% effect.
Okay.
But also I think I'll have all your email addresses after this, so I could email you the things I mentioned and also a recording of the workshop, hopefully when I get my hands on it. Hopefully. I was like, do I get it actually? But yeah, any other questions? Anything you learned?
Well, you said something like when you're in service, especially when you're in service to others, and I thought, oh, that's not me, I'm not a nurse, or I'm not a social worker or anything like that. And then I thought, Oh, I'm in service to others, and probably all of us are in service to others. If we really think about it, it's like to our coworkers, to
Yeah.
everyone. So maybe changing or shifting our mindset to we're all in service to someone else, and we'll be more productive as a society. Because I was just that's not applicable to me.
When you're driving, who are you in service
To others,
I
yeah.
was like, that's the first, you know, doing the model literally helped me become a better driver. Because I was like, I had so much drama up in my mind about living in LA because I moved to Culver City like 2 years ago. And I was like, F my life, this traffic. No more headphones, I gotta keep it PG. So, so I was just like, I just kept framing the way I thought about people cutting me off. And it literally, like, the more you do it, you're deconditioning your impulse to think negatively. And so then it'll be more natural to let that go.
How about another way to look at it, like when you said on the left-hand side, people cutting me off, you can put it on the right-hand side as they're changing lanes.
Yeah,
And some people, and some people may have their blinker broken.
That's crazy. But you're right, that's why I think with the circumstance, you gotta keep it neutral. The more you think about a situation, that's where I start off my clients. Think about the situation neutrally, take out all the
I
judgment.
just feel bad for him, that guy's blinker's broken, that's
Right,
why.
exactly. But you
You're
gotta,
lucky to have a good car that has working blinkers.
right, exactly. And you know, the minute you take out all the negative like adjectives in there, take out the anything like any negative adjectives, any kind of opinions, once you take that out, you're just left with the facts. And then when you think about the neutral facts, that will help to relieve so much stress about any situation. Like the noises in the room. Which is not a problem, by the way. Anyway, I'm totally not.
I've got a driving in Los Angeles joke.
Oh, okay.
Many years ago, I used to work in LA, and one day I was on the freeway, and you go 10 feet and then you stop for 10 seconds, then you go another 10 feet and stop for another second. This one guy in front of me, he got out of his car, and he laid on his hood as if he was sunning himself. Must have been 100 people honking their horns like, yeah, far out, you know.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
I never forgot that. That was 20 years ago.
Oh, hey, you can make the best of it. Like, you can make a joke about it, you know? It doesn't have, like, your pain is only coming from yourself. You're creating that for yourself. And you want to create, if you want to create a better life for yourself, if you want to actually lose weight and actually, finish your schooling or whatever, advance your career, ask for that raise, you have to create it. It can't come to you, like, you can't wait for it, wish for it, hope for it. Like, it doesn't work that way, right? We have to be in charge of that, and the way we do that is being in charge of our mindset and what we're thinking, what we're telling ourselves every single day. Because how long does it take to create a habit? Anyone know?
21 days.
Yeah, I hear like 21 days, 60 days. I would say, honestly, for me, to solidify a habit, it would take easily like 6 months.
Wow.
Easily. So you gotta practice it consistently if there's something you actually want to change in your life. It doesn't come from waiting for it. You have to be the one responsible for that. All right, I just gave you this, a secret to the universe.